Hello my peeps, this Algebra Nation video will cover the right side of page 71 and the left side of page 72.
Whenever you see parallel or perpendicular, you're dealing with slope. Remember, parallel lines are going to have the same slope. They're two lines that run parallel to each other, and they'd have the same slope. Perpendicular lines are going to have what's called the opposite sign, and the fraction is flipped. So again, visually what this looks like is the following. We've got, of course, again, parallel and perpendicular. Parallel, two lines, got the same slope. M1 equals M2, they have the same rise over run. But perpendicular lines are going to crisscross, is the idea. And you're going to notice that they're going to be the opposite sign and flipped. So that's the difference between parallel and perpendicular. For example, if I told you the slope of the original line was 3/4, then the parallel line would have a slope also of 3/4. But the perpendicular line would be the opposite sign, which would be negative, and the fraction is flipped. That means the slope of the perpendicular line would be negative 4/3. Let's say the slope of the original line is negative 1/3. What's the slope of the parallel line? The same, also negative 1/3. How about the perpendicular though? Take the opposite sign. Instead of negative, it'll be positive, and the fraction is flipped, which will be 3/1. And this will actually simplify to just be a slope of 3. Starting to get the idea here? If the original line had a slope of 5, the parallel line has a slope of 5. But the perpendicular would be, instead of positive, negative. And do remember, this is 5 divided by 1. So flip the fraction to give you negative 1/5 for the slope of the perpendicular line. One more. The slope of the original line is negative 1. The parallel line will have a slope of negative 1 because it's the same. But the perpendicular line, you'll change the sign, make it positive. And remember, this is negative 1/1, so when you flip it, you still get 1/1, which is just the slope of 1. So overall, beyond just finding slope, there's about 3 steps in doing these types of problems to find the equation, because that's the whole point. We're going to find the equation using parallel and perpendicular lines. The first step will be solve the equation for y. Unless it already is, then that's great. Find the slope of the original line, and then find the slope of the parallel or perpendicular line, whichever one they ask. And then lastly, write the equation of your new line, and you can use either point-slope form or slope-intercept form to write the equation. It's up to you. So basically, we're going to be given a line, and we want to find a new line, and that new line is going to be parallel or perpendicular to the original. For example, find the equation of a line that's parallel to this line and go.
Boys and girls, make sure you turn your page in your workbook. This will be the top of page 72. Ding!
Goes through this point. Step 1, solve the equation for y. And it already is. How nice. Y equals 3/4 x plus 2 because we want it to look like y equals mx plus b. What is the slope of the original line? The original line has a slope of 3/4, and now the new line is going to have a slope of what? Parallel lines have the same slope, so the new line will have a slope also of 3/4. To find the equation of your new line, you have the slope, you have the point the new line passes through. I'm going to use point-slope form. Y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. Y minus my y-coordinate 2 equals m 3/4 x minus negative 8. Minus a negative is positive, and if they want the answer in y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form, well, we're going to distribute 3/4. Y minus 2 equals 3/4 times x is 3/4 x. 3/4 times 8. Might want to work that off on the times 2. We're left with 3 times 2, which is going to give you 6, divided by 1, or just plus 6.
If you don't want to work it this way, you could just do top times top. 3 times 8 is 24. Bottom times bottom. 4 times 1 is 4. Now simplify 24 over 4, and bada bing, bada boom, you get 6. Pick the way that's easiest for you.
Lastly, add 2 over, and you get the new line as y equals 3/4 x plus 8, which if you notice, has the same slope, but just a different y-intercept, because 2 lines with the same slope will end up being parallel lines. Now, if you think about it, are there other ways to write the equation you found? Absolutely. I wrote it in 2 different ways. I wrote it in point-slope form and slope-intercept form. Point-slope form in red, slope-intercept form in blue, and there will be other ways. Did I have to start with the first equation that I used? Did I have to start with point-slope form? And of course the answer is no. You could have started with slope-intercept form. It's up to you. But in the end, you're trying to find a new line that's parallel or perpendicular to the other line. Make sure, solve it for y, get the new slope, and then you can go ahead and find the equation of the new line. Which means now, I've done one, so I'll let you